These biscuits were one of the most popular things at Paula Deen's restaurant. People were always looking forward to these biscuits while they were waiting in line or whether they were sitting at the table. Paula mentions this in her cookbook as a little note introducing these cheese biscuits. Hi everyone, welcome back to the dinner table. Today we're making Paula Deen's cheese biscuits, and I'm really curious to see if these are going to live up to the hype that Paula kind of mentions in her cookbook. This was one of the menu items at her restaurant that closed last summer. So let's see what they're all about. But what I noticed right away of the recipe is that these aren't the typical roll out biscuits, buttermilk biscuits that I've made in the past. These are drop biscuits. So they should be easier and quicker to make, and maybe a little more forgiving. So for the ingredients, we need 2 cups of self-rising flour, we'll need a teaspoon of baking powder, teaspoon of sugar. I do not have that out. Let me grab that. Sugar, and then a third cup of Crisco, and I've already dished that out here. 3/4 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, and then 1 cup of buttermilk. After all, these are buttermilk biscuits. All right, let's get started. I've got the oven preheating to 350 degrees. So first she says, preheat oven to 350, mix the flour, baking powder, and sugar together using a fork. So here's my bowl, flour, baking powder. Let me get my teaspoon. There's a half. So 2 of these. 1, 2. Okay. Flour, baking powder, and sugar. Interesting, it's only a teaspoon of sugar. What is 1 teaspoon of sugar gonna do? This doesn't seem like a lot. Okay, and then I'll need a cup of this measuring cup for my buttermilk here in just a minute. Okay, we're going to use a fork, she says. Got me a fork. Mix together using a fork, and then we're going to cut in the shortening until it resembles cornmeal. So probably something grainy. Okay, that looks mixed. Cut this in. Shortening. Did say how cool. 1/3 cup. Okay. I just feel like there should be more. Like, this is very powdery still. Trust the process. Trust the process. A little bit of a workout. Okay, it's starting to get like a little bit of a granular texture. Let me keep going. So it resembles cornmeal, and then we're going to add the cheese, and then we'll stir in the buttermilk all at one time, just until blended. Do not over stir, and then we'll drop by the tablespoons bowl. And she says she uses an ice cream scoop to give each biscuit a nicer shape. And then we're going to throw that onto a well-greased baking sheet and bake for 12 to 15 minutes. All right, I think that's good. What do you think? Kind of granular. All right, cheese, she says. Just mix that in. And then she says we're going to pour in all of the milk and we're just going to stir just until blended. Buttermilk is so thick. Okay. All in. Don't overdo it, she says. Just blend till moist. I don't know what over stirring looks like, but I think I need it blended enough so that it forms something, right? All right. There's what we got. So she says she uses an ice cream scoop for hers. I don't have an ice cream scoop. It's a tablespoon. So I'm gonna use this muffin pan, and we'll see what that does. Maybe that'll give it a good shape. She says well greased. Let's make sure we do that. And then I'll get a tablespoon, and drop them in there. Seems very powdery. Maybe the cheese does something to it. It does say tablespoon, right? Tablespoon. That's what she says. Oh, usually like a walnut size, they say. It becomes small. Biscuit. Okay. Yeah, like, I don't know. It doesn't say how many are they supposed to make. It says 8 large biscuits, but it's supposed to be a tablespoonful. Well, I definitely have more than 8 tablespoons of this dough. I think I'm missing something in translation. Because then she says an ice cream scoop, but an ice cream scoop is not a tablespoon. Like, that's a pretty good size scoop. Like, should I add more to these, maybe? All right. Look at all this that I have left. Like, tablespoonful, like, about a tablespoon right here. I really feel like I should add more to this. And then I have like all this that's dry. Okay, well, I guess let's give this a roll. Go, but it's self-rising flour, so it's supposed to rise, I think. I guess we'll find out in 12 minutes. Let's get it in the oven. All right, I'll bring you back in 12 minutes and we'll take a look at what we've done. And then I think that will help me decide whether I need to add a little more buttermilk to this to finish up this batter, or if I need to go bigger. Because her recipe has got me all kinds of confused on how big these things are supposed to be. I'll see you back in 12. This is what we're looking like. They didn't rise very much. They're still very small. So I think, I'm let these cool. I think I am gonna put another little splash of the buttermilk in there so I can get the rest of this dried out stuff. And then I'm gonna make some bigger biscuits. Then we'll see how that goes. Just a splash. It's a little more than a splash, but I might need it all. Stir that up. Yeah, that is holding much better together. So here is our biscuit. Let me move this out of the way. Just pulled it out of my little muffin tin. Oh, that was nice and cheesy. It's good. The cheese is actually doing more to hold it together, but the pieces that don't have a lot of cheese in it are kind of just falling apart. So I think they could probably cook a little longer too. Give a little more browning on it. Okay. Let's get these out of here. And I can put the other ones back. Or do another batch. They almost look underdone, but they're cooked all the way through. Like, they're nice and bready. All right, let's spray this. Let's bring that over here. All right, let's get these bigger. That's kind of what I was thinking for when she said, when I read, an ice cream scoop is what she was using to form hers. It's more like that. All right. There's what we got for the second round. These are much bigger. So 12 to 15 minutes. I bet these are going to need all of 15, maybe even a little bit more. Let's get them in the oven and find out. I'll see you guys back in 15. Okay, so that has been 15 minutes. Let's see what we got on these here biscuits. Second go round. Well, they're kind of the same. I don't know if I should go a little longer. Let's see. Yeah, I think they're good. All right. Okay, so I will let these cool down, and I'll let these cool down, but I think these turned out a little bit better. Okay, these turned out a little bit better. This was our bigger batch, bigger biscuits. Sorry, it's still hot. They did not get golden. They are very much like our smaller ones. I could probably cook them a little bit longer, but I mean, they are, done. Like, they have a crust on it. I think it's probably more the pan than it is the recipe that they didn't, like they probably needed to bake a little longer to get a little golden on top. Or I could have put some butter on top to make it a little golden, although Paula does not mention doing that. So let's break one of these apart while it's nice and hot so we can get the cheesiness. Hopefully you see that. It's cheesy, smoky hotness. So the ones I tried earlier, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like they're missing something, some kind of like salt or butter. I taste the cheese, like it's cheesy, but it's kind of bland. I don't know that I would have been really that excited to receive these at the restaurant, other than I was just so hungry and I needed something to eat, and these were good. Or maybe she serves them with butter, like some salted butter, and when it's nice and hot, it melts and it's just ooey gooey goodness. But I mean, they're okay. I guess I was expecting more. This is a very easy recipe to make, and it came together really quick. I like that it was the drop biscuits, and then my little pan did give it a nice little shape. I think if I was to make it again, I would do the butter on top to add a little extra of that like saltiness to it and the butter. But so honest review is that they're not much for flavor. They have a nice texture, they're nice and cheesy, ooey gooey goodness, and I would probably put some butter on top of it while it was hot to melt it in, or to get a better browning, I'll probably put some butter on top. But these are definitely good enough to put on the dinner table, so I think the kids will like it. If you're on a journey like me, trying to find recipes that will bring my family to the dinner table, stick around and we'll try to figure it out together. Until next time, I'll see you at the dinner table.